What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Peace, and love. I'm V, and today we're going to have a conversation about some of the things I wish I would have known when I had began my spiritual awakening journey. Now, would I say that I kind of had like a, come to Jesus moment in 2017? Yeah. 2019? Yeah. But really the end of 2019, I would say that is the moment that I would define as my spiritual awakening journey. This began when I was meditating on a cruise ship, playing classic Disney princesses, portraying these extraordinary classic Disney princesses on the Disney Fantasy cruise ship, when a spirit came through my clairaudient ability and said, I am your grandfather, I am your spirit guide, and I've been with you your whole life. And that was definitely the moment for me when I had no other, conscious experiences of different spirits coming through my energy. Now, I had always been really kind of like spooked by some of the houses that my parents lived in. And one of them, I was convinced that there was like an old grandma that lived there. And I actually found out that she died in the area that I was always afraid of in the house. So, it's like the fact that I'm queer too. It's like the signs were there. I just didn't know it. Same thing goes with my spiritual awakening journey. It's like I can see now why I was totally connected the whole time. But in that moment in 2019, that was the first moment that my consciousness connected to it. And so after I got off the cruise ship, it was the day the world shut down. Always have to make sure this mic is working because one time I made a video. You see my little green light? I made a video and I like stopped halfway through and it was like a really good video. And so now I have to check and I don't like that. So if you see me doing this, I'm not looking at my double chins, I'm looking at my microphone. Anyways, so I got off the cruise ship the day the world shut down. And at this time, I had had a connection with my grandfather. We were talking now pretty much regularly about my mission, my path, but I wasn't able to fully channel. I was just getting like little insights like healer, going to be a healer. I was like, what does that mean? And so it led me during the isolation period in the world to meditate even deeper and to start to build connections with different divination tools. So I was really connected to astrology. I was really connected to tarot, to oracle. That was really where I was naturally guided. And then that led me to starting my energy healing business. And what I wish I would have learned from the start of my awakening was to really find patience earlier. I was so excited about my awakening. I was so hungry for information in my awakening. And I believe that led me to, if you haven't seen my video yet, I definitely recommend that you check it out, about the entity attachments that I had at the end of 2022. Like, I definitely think that had I have been able to actually apply more patience, I think that I would have minimized the potential for there to be the attack on my energy, because I was in many ways obsessed with all the information. I was obsessed with knowing everything. I wanted to know everything. I wanted to understand who I was. And that drove me, instead of, okay, are my feet on the ground? Have I eaten? Can I not channel an alien right now? Like, do I need to go to that mothership right now? Or can I just, you know? And so I wish patience was something that I had in the beginning of my awakening, because I definitely think, you know, that patience would have allowed me to trust in myself more, instead of what ended up happening, which was that I externalized my power, really, to the different beings that I was connecting with. I was externalizing my power to my spirituality, or I guess the belief that I had created around what, spirituality meant, instead of what I really wanted, which was to cultivate trust in my own path and my own self. And I think the patience would have catalyzed the trust, but instead the impatience catalyzed the over externalization in codependence in the spirit world, in the interdimensional worlds, and in ascending. The second thing I probably would have wish I would have known is that, oh, a ladybug. What's the spiritual meaning of a ladybug? Hashtag good luck. Yes. I wish I would have prioritized mastery over ascension, because I had done the ascension stuff. I had tried to expand my consciousness to understand all of the different dimensions, to explore my abilities as a remote viewer, as an astral traveler, as a starseed. And those things were really cool, but they also didn't help me become more ethical or more in integrity or more connected to my own energy. They made me feel more dependent, more curious, more desperate, more high, if you will, on spiritual fumes. We're good. And I think if I had prioritized spiritual hygiene and balance and rest and integration, actual integration, I think I would have minimized some of the initiations and attacks that I had had on my energy. And to this day, I believe more in the power of mastery, mastering your own energetics, your own emotions, your own soul, than I do ascension, because ascension should happen as a byproduct, not of the goal. It shouldn't be the goal. I believe that Earth is evolving. I believe that Earth is awakening. I believe that Earth is going through a profound shift, but I also believe that has happened every 80 to 100 years. And like, what makes us special? What makes us special? I don't know yet. I have yet to see what makes this different, if you will, than different evolutionary shifts in the economy, in the state of the world, in our consciousness, in in religion and our connection with God. Like, I feel like there's so many similarities to how history is repeating itself, more so than the fact that we are stepping into something completely new. And in that, the importance of mastery has become, I think, all the more imperative than simply just ascending alone. Like, do we know our own souls? Do we know our own energy? Do we understand, our stories? And do we have the tools to be able to navigate those stories? And that is something I wish I would have really prioritized in the beginning of my awakening. Yeah. And I'm curious if this resonates with you, where maybe in the pursuit of ascension, it just felt like, but I'm not even here, Is ascending about not being able to have relationships with my parents because they don't get it? Is it about isolating myself from the world? Because if that's it, like, I don't know that I want that to be it. Or that everything becomes about like spiritual language and salad. It can't just be human connection. It has to be all of this talk about the threads and the themes of what's going on in our energy and consciousness. And I just want to be able to have a turkey dinner with my Nona without seeing into her energy about why she's blocked. Like, you know what I mean? Can you relate to that? Yeah. And I'd say the final thing, and this one is the biggest thing for me, and it was not outsourcing my power until I understood the power within me. The need for validation, right? And then when I got that validation, it was like, oh, I am powerful. Oh, I knew I was on the right track, right? Oh, I knew I could have. Yeah, okay, yeah. It was always someone else telling me that I could be powerful, whether that was another reader or another healer, or what my natal chart said, or whatever it was. It was something else before I trusted myself. And do I think in a part of our awakening that does matter, right? Like, the validation part of the journey matters, but I feel like I stayed in it so long because, well, one, I had a childhood of being a performer, so obviously, if the shoe fits, but also I brought that into my awakening, and I was kind of like getting feeling like I was worthy because of what I was receiving externally. And I wish I would have contemplated more of who I was as a person and actually what made me powerful regardless of any of these things. You know, do I need to channel the Arcturians in order to feel worthy, or like am I just worthy because I'm alive and because God gave me life still, and you know, I'm healthy, I have a family, I'm building a relationship, whatever it is, like can I be worthy because of the life that I have, not because of, you know, what I'm doing for the world or how the gifts I have or because of what other people are saying I have. Like, can I just feel that? Because I spent a lot of my awakening in deep need to feel worthy and to feel powerful, but only if somebody else told me first. And so those are the three things that I wish in the beginning of my awakening I could have, you know, taken my now self and brought myself there and said, hey, you're going to learn these really, really, really hard lessons. And if I can just preemptively seed you with these, you know, golden nuggets, that would be really great. I think I would have been on a different path. I would have grown a little bit faster. And I think we can all agree it happened as it was meant to. And maybe the ways that I needed to learn brought me exactly to where I am today. So I think both truths can be true. And there's a lot of healing that happens in the gray. But I'm curious for you as you listen to this, does any of this resonate with you? Or did you perhaps find a different thing that you wish you would have known in the beginning of your awakening that now you know now? Please let me know in the comments. I'm always keeping up and just feeling into where you're at in your journeys and hopefully continuing to awaken safely with you all as we secure our ascensions. So I'm V. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe if this channel resonates with you, and I'll see you all very soon.